Well, the 3D printers had a 2 week vacation, but now I've got them back at it. Hard working little machines. It's like a sweatshop in here, only for 3D prints. Good morning, everybody. It's Steven here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, May the 8th, 2023, and it's vlog number 313. So let's jump right into what I've been working on. This was a frustrating little problem that I'm going to solve today, and here it is. This is a quilt designed by a friend of mine, Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches, and it's a gorgeous quilt. And it's going to be even more gorgeous when I do it correctly. You see here I have all my blocks together. There are 10 different stars in this quilt. And yeah, I got it all together. I put some borders around it, and I'm looking at it. And if you notice, and this will pop out to you as soon as you see it, right down in here, you see this square of white, square of white, square of white, sort of a square of white, sort of a square of white. And if you look along the other parts too, stars don't seem to match up. And I didn't really notice this when I put these all together, but of course, you know who did. Walter, of course. And then I thought, well, maybe I can just, unseam one of these and switch the blocks around. No, but during the retreat, we'll come to that in a minute, over on Saturday, someone mentioned to me that I missed the last step, which was the finishing step. Now, stupid me, I should have realized there would be one of those, but no, I did not. So this is what the quilt looked like a day ago, but yesterday I pulled it all apart. So I didn't pull the individual blocks apart, but I pulled them out because there has to be sashing and cornerstones that go in here, which make a whole lot more sense. So yes, I am the idiot quilter, and this just proves it as well. So that's what I'm going to get working on today, and it's going to be a great quilt when it's finished. Okay, so that's one thing I've been working on, and you know that Walter and I are going on a trip in, well, less than a month. Right now to the east coast of Canada. We're purposely going to Halifax for the Canadian Quilt Show, and we're going to be traveling around to, New Brunswick, Quebec, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and that kind of thing. So we're making a real vacation out of it. So we just got back from the West Coast. Now we're going to the East Coast. But when we're there, we're going to have a meetup with some people. And I've been making some little gifties to give to people as well when we get there. So my 3D printer has been going steadily since about, the 1st of March, with only a 2 week period when it was down, and that's when we were out west. And I'm still, as I'm recording this, my printers are working like mad over there. So yeah, that's what I have been up to since I got home, and I have other projects as well that involve quilting, of course, and I'm going to talk about those in more detail tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. So let's move on now to the YouTube channel of the week. This one has to do with creating. I have actually reviewed this channel some time ago, like probably over a year or more ago. It's called Threadbanger. He used to do a lot of things about a lot of topics, and then this individual, and he's not really an old man by any stretch of the imagination, had a heart attack, a really severe heart attack, which thankfully he recovered from that heart attack, but it really, slowed him down for quite a while. But now he's back at it, and he's experimenting with different art techniques that he finds on YouTube, and showing whether they work or not. It's very entertaining, very engaging, and if you're into doing some really weird abstract art, this will appeal to you as well. But here's my review of his latest videos. This week's YouTube channel is one that I reviewed many months, if not years ago, called Threadbanger. And Threadbanger has gone through an evolution over time with the different things that he does, but they're always very entertaining. But his latest videos tend to be all about art, as you can see here. He talks about rice art, which is his latest video. And he basically, what he does is he goes on to YouTube, he finds what the latest trends are in art, and he tries them out to see whether they work or not. So he also has ones here on screen print roller, dustpan painting, manhole prints, etc. So let's just take a look at his playlists, because I imagine he puts them all into one playlist. Um, and let's see. Well, maybe he doesn't. I'm not sure where he puts them. Uh, but I thought maybe he'd have them actually in a playlist. But nevertheless, going through what he does put up is very, very entertaining. He's quite a character. But those of you that are into trying some new trendy art ideas will want to check this out. But it's great for everybody in terms of entertainment value. So check out Threadbanger. So there is a link for that in the show notes below. There's a link as well for Stephen and Walter Live, where we talked all about the retreat that we just had on the weekend. We'll talk more about that later on. There is a link to this week's So Chatty, where we go into depth about the 6 quilt stores we visited while we were out west, and we take you inside with us as well to see everything. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, do tune in to that. Click on that link for So Chatty episode 98. And there's a link for our Wednesday morning Stephanie Stitches and my Sew With Us session. We have every Wednesday morning starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And it's a reoccurring Zoom link. It is not a YouTube Live. It is a Zoom link. All are welcome. All are welcome to join us. And you don't have to be quilting to join us. You could be working on something else. So it's for creators. Okay, so that takes me to looking outside today, and we finally had a break in the weather. It has been cold, it has been rainy, it has been pretty much miserable since we got back from the West Coast. But as you can see right now at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you might be hearing my clock chiming in the background, this is what the day is looking like. You can notice that the yard is nice and green. Walter actually had the lawnmower out yesterday and was doing a little bit of yard work. The trees are starting to leaf out. It's just pretty. And the temperature right now is 10 degrees C. I'm not sure what the high is supposed to be today, but yesterday we hit a high of about 18 degrees C. So that's more like summer weather for us here than spring. So I hope this keeps up because I'm telling you, I'm just so tired of the winter, and we have not really had a proper spring yet. I mean, we had a few days where it went really warm just before we left for the West Coast. And as I said, we came back to dreary, rainy, cool weather. And so this is a nice relief. And who knows, if this keeps up for a little while, I might even get the ambition to get to the patio and clean up after the winter crap and get out the patio furniture and get things all set up for that. But anyways, yeah, it's nice to see sunlight, isn't it? Okay, so what's pissing me off this week? Well, I mentioned the fact that I had my spring retreat all day Saturday, and that was great. We had about 88 people. That's the most I've ever had at a retreat. So I was pretty much sold out. In fact, at one point I was sold out and had a waiting list, but the people that were on that waiting list did manage to get on. But I had something I anticipated, something that's going to make me sound like a real bugger here, but I've alluded to what I'm going to talk about in the title, where I said nobody puts baby in the corner, from that old movie. Oh, what was it called? It was one with Patrick Swayze in it, and the dancing thing. Slips my mind now, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. It'll come to me later. Okay. You don't have to worry about writing in the comments to tell me what it was, because it will come to me. But anyways, everybody knows what I'm talking about, all right? Well, that's how I felt, given a few individuals who did not show up to the retreat. Now, I had told people over and over, to the point of it being a broken record about this retreat, that it's a free retreat, but I needed people to register, so I had a spot for them. If, I had more people than spots available, I would start a waiting list. And if people weren't able to show up for one reason or another, I'd appreciate it if they sent me an email to let me know that, and then I could open up a spot for somebody on the waiting list. Okay? And some people did that. But I had 6 people on the list who are no-shows. I have not had an email from them telling me what happened. Oh, maybe they don't think they need to give me an email. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I was raised with some manners. I mean, maybe it doesn't always seem like I have manners, but I was. And part of that upbringing was accountability. If you commit yourself to something, you show up. You don't wait and change the plan at the last minute because something better came up. And I think most people know what I'm talking about. There's always those people in our society or amongst our friends or whatever who always tell, oh, yes, I'll be there, I'll be there. And then at the last minute, oh, something has come up and they don't show up. Okay, life happens. Sometimes there are emergencies. Some things do happen that you cannot predict. I get that. Okay, an accident, health issue, something like that. Okay, those are things that we can't predict and just come out of the blue. However, short of being dead, there is no reason why you can't send a note or give a telephone call. Well, that's the old days. Send an email or something to the person that is affected by your absence and let them know briefly. You don't have to go into a lot of minute details, but why they were sorry they could not show up at the last minute. Now, it's common courtesy because think about it. Anything you get invited to, there has been planning and thought put into it. Unless the person has said, yeah, we're going to do this. If you want to drop in, fine, no big deal. That's different. But on something like my retreat, where you had to sign up for it, that's a commitment. And you need to be accountable to that commitment. It's all part of a bigger picture here of being responsible. And I think in this day and age, there's an awful lot of people in our society who don't take accountability and responsibility seriously. And that pisses me off. I, for one, would never do that to anyone. I've had opportunities in my life where I have committed myself to attending something that someone has invited me to, and I did get a better offer. Yeah, let's face it, I got a better offer. But I did not put that baby in the corner. I had already made a commitment, and so I followed through. I didn't make a weak excuse to get out of it or anything like that. Well, what is a weak excuse? Here's a weak excuse. Oh, I wasn't feeling well. Oh, I got sick. Yes, that does happen. However, you think about in your life how many times you've heard that excuse. As a retired school teacher, that was one of the #1 excuses why students didn't get in assignments. It was right up there with the dog ate my homework. Yeah. And after a while, when you hear that excuse, and sometimes you hear that excuse all the time from the same people, you start to wonder, are they just crying wolf? What's going on here? In other words, it's not as believable. So if you can't show up for something at the last minute, what's your plan of action? Well, it should be as soon as you possibly can to let that person know why you didn't show up and to apologize profusely. Yeah, that's what I would do. Because I know that I have hurt that individual. Now, I know for my retreat, for example, that there are those people say, well, it's not costing me anything. So, it's not like I'm losing any money on this or whatever. Well, no, that's not the attitude to take. It did cost some money, but it didn't cost maybe you money, but it cost me. It cost me money in time, in preparation, and I did have prizes and things like that. So, yeah, it did cost something. All right. And so, how do I get around people like that are no-shows? Well, I thought about charging a non-refundable deposit when you register. But that opens up a whole new can of worms, and I just don't want to get into that kind of thing. And I don't run retreats to make money. It's not a business for me. It is part of my hobby, and that's why I do it. I enjoy planning things. I enjoy bringing people together to create, a sense of community and giving them an opportunity to do something that they don't do every day, that kind of thing. I enjoy doing that. That's just the way I am. It brings me joy. But what doesn't bring me joy are people who take advantage of me. And that's how I feel. When somebody's a no-show with no excuse or nothing, that's taking advantage of me. And you don't put Stevie in the corner. Okay? So, what am I going to do about it? Well, this is where the nasty part comes in. Those people, those 6 people that were no-shows, are on my blacklist. Yes, I have a blacklist. I'll be running another retreat in the fall. And at that time, I will be sending out to all of the individuals who are at this retreat an invitation to their email with all the information they need to know, and they will have first dibs at reserving a spot for themselves. I mean, it's the least I can do for those people who basically showed their loyalty to this. I will give them a certain number of days to get their information into me to reserve their spot, and then I'll open it up for the general public. However, one of those people if a person from that blacklist wants to sign up, they will go on another list. I'm going to call it if there's space list at the last minute. I got a little sneer on my face when I say this. You can see it, right? I'm evil. There will be, I may allow them to sign up if there are spots available at the last minute. What does that mean? I will still have a waiting list. People on the waiting list will get first dibs if a spot opens up, not the blacklisters. And here's the other thing that adds insult to injury. There are a couple of names on that list of people who have done the same thing before. I should have learned. Well, I have. You're not putting baby in the corner. No. So, yep, I know there'll be some of you that will write me hate mail. Don't even bother. Because I'll just delete it. Yeah, that's right. Because you'll think I'm being very nasty and I'm being very hard. And, I have to give these people the benefit of the doubt because something really happened and they just couldn't get a hold of you and couldn't write a message and all that stuff. Save it. Because I don't care. I really don't. Yep, call me heartless. You're heartless. But I think the vast majority of you out there probably get what I'm saying. And you've probably had something like this happen to you before, so you can probably relate as well. Now, some people will say you take it too personally. Yes, I do. Yeah, why? Because it's my time, it's my effort, it's everything I put into it. So yeah, how can I not take it personally? So I do. Okay, so there'll be no putting baby in the corner. There'll be no putting Stephen in the corner. No, I wouldn't do it to you. Don't do it to me. So that's what's pissing me off this week. Okay, let's move on, shall we? New products. Do I have any to show you? Actually, no, I don't. I haven't really bought anything beyond the fabric out west, and you've already seen that in my other videos. So, nope, nothing new. So, let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about the grow lights, because when we came home, our harvest is doing really well. So this is grow light number 1. My lettuce and basil. Our lettuce and basil are coming up really nicely. We do have a little problem, and we're not sure whether it's because of the lighting or what, but you'll notice on a few of those leaves we have a little bit of brown on the edges. Now that doesn't stop us from eating them. I just cut the brown away, but I'm not sure what's doing that. Maybe there needs to be something added to the soil, some kind of vitamins or something like that. Don't know. If anybody out there has any idea why that may happen, just drop me a comment, because I really don't know what's going on with that. Okay, grow light number 2. Let me just get it up here. Right here. Okay. Yes. Now here's the brown stuff really gone bad. No, we've done a lot of harvesting from this, you can see. And this needs to now be what the good stuff that's left, get that out so we can eat it. And then, dig this all up, replant more lettuce. You'll notice though we have a nice crop of onions. They were an experiment. They're doing very well. Walter has already picked one of those onions out and used it in something. So those are working fine. So we know that lettuce and herbs and green onions work well under the grow lights. Here in the back, you'll see these yellow things with little dots on them. Those are bugs. Little tiny gnats or something like that, which we tend to get with the plants, and those little sticky things capture them and then they die. And we want them dead. We have these I have these up in my philodendrons as well. Walter's theory is they're actually coming out of the soil. Now we buy potting soil, okay, which is supposedly like clean, sterilized or something, but that's got to be where they come from that. But anyways, these little sticky things, so we're not having to use any pesticide or anything on them. We don't want to get into doing that kind of stuff on our grow light vegetables. So these tend to work really quite well. You change them out after a while too. So anyways, new crop of things have to be planted here. Okay, the jungle just gets more jungly. Our tomatoes are going nuts, and we have lots of little tomatoes on it. We have harvested a few, and they're great. And our green peppers are coming along really nice. And just a little peek in here, you can see some of the green tomatoes in here. But here's just a couple of the peppers, but we have more peppers. And they're getting up there to a nice size. Now, we have not harvested any of these yet to try them. I'm waiting for them to get just a little bit bigger, and then we will. But yeah, they're doing pretty good under the lights. They do take a long time, but when we plant them outside as well in the summer from seed, they take a long time. They take a good 3 months, or a little bit longer before you get like decent size peppers on them. If you leave them long enough, they tend to turn to red peppers. We found last year, at least outside. Now, I don't know if that's a special variety. I'm not sure what we planted. But anyways, yeah, they're coming along nicely. So that means now it is getting closer to the time when and when I say we, I mean Walter, will set up the container gardens out on the deck and get things growing there as well. So yeah, and I really want to, like, the tomatoes all come on at the same time, especially the cherry tomatoes, and you have all these tomatoes. Well, I want to do something with those this year. You know, Walter's been discouraging me from doing this, but like kind of cooking them, making them into like a tomato type sauce. I just noticed there's one of those nasty little bugs right there. He didn't get to the sticky paper. Anyways, yeah, well, as I was saying, making, tomato sauce or puree the tomatoes or something like that and can them basically, or freeze it. And then, I'll have fresh tomato sauce that I can use in other things, pasta dishes and that. We'll see how that goes. And the peppers too, they'll all come on at once outside as well. And we can't eat that many peppers that fast. I mean, there's only so many things you can do with peppers. But last year what we did was Walter did cut up some of the peppers and we froze them and we used them in cooking. And they work out fine for that. So we'll probably do the same thing with that. But if anybody has any suggestions for, I've never done really any canning or that kind of thing for, green peppers and, um, you know, green peppers, herbs. Herbs you can sort of freeze if you're just going to use them in cooking, fresh herbs. We've done that before. Um, and peppers and stuff like that. What other things can you do besides just freeze them? Is there some kind of canning thing that works out really well? I suppose I could make chili sauce. I've never tried that. Might have to get a couple of other ingredients. Anyways, I'm looking forward to our growing season because it's nice that we don't have to go to the grocery store. We can make a really fresh salad from the things we grow ourselves. And plus, they look really nice on the deck. All the greenery on the deck from them. Now, if we just could keep the pesky little squirrels away from eating our tomatoes just before we pick them. They're nasty little buggers, those squirrels. Yeah. In fact, we'll probably plant them their own plant, but they like to come up on the deck and eat the ones we have up there. We planted some down at ground level last year, and they'd rather sit up and eat our cherry tomatoes from the deck and leave us, one bite for them. That's all they take, and leave the little tomato sitting on the rail of the deck to let them know that, gotcha. Little buggers. Yeah. They're cute, but they're little buggers. Okay, so that's how things are going with our Grow Light project. All right, let's turn our attention to the 3D corner. And I do want to talk a little bit about a filament that I discovered and I'm using. And I'm just going to call it up here. Just give me a second so I can tell you what it's all about. Find the link. Here we go. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, this filament. I buy it from Amazon. You can get it in other places as well. It's not particularly cheap. Actually, they've just had a price decrease, as you can see here. It's $36.99 now. I was paying $39.99 for it originally. Apply a 7-day coupon, $7 coupon. Oh, I might buy another one because that'll make it, if that's $7 off of 36, okay. We'll come back to this later today. I'm going to do some shopping. I love this filament. Why? Well, if you see the picture, it's two-tone, and it depends on the way the light is shining on it. Now, this is something they call a silk, and there are different manufacturers that make something they call a silk, and a silk is a very shiny filament, and I love using silk. It can be a problem printing sometimes, but I think I've got it down now where I know exactly how to do it. But this is really wonderful, and you can get it. This is the red-blue combination, but you can also get it in other colors as well, like sort of a copper gold kind of a thing. But this one I like the best, and I'm going to show you right here, switch over, what this looks like in the things I'm making. So here, you see blue, you see red. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It actually moves from blue to purple to sort of a red and then back to the blue, depending how the light shines on it. I love it. And I love the high sheen and the whole bit. It's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. So I just bought 3 spools of this before it was on sale because I'm making more things out of it. It is my filament of choice right now for most of my things I make because I think it's very, very pretty. So that's about all that's new in the 3D corner. You already saw some of the other things that I've been making earlier in today's video. So yeah, I'm done talking about that for now. Although I have to say that in the last few months, I've got this 3D printing thing down pat. It only took 2 years, but I basically have not been having the frustration that I was having for quite a long time with getting things to print properly and that. Yes, there are still problems, but I know how to troubleshoot them a lot better than I did 2 years ago. So yeah, if you get a 3D printer, be prepared. It's a learning curve. Okay, so that takes me to Blast from the Past in terms of trips. And I have been showing lately the ones from our very first trip, which was a cruise to New Zealand and Australia. And so I'm going to continue this. And this was a sheep farm that we went to, and they gave us a demonstration on shearing a sheep. And you're going to see an actual sheep in this video, and how they go about it. And it's, well, they're cute. They're just cute.
That's right. Yeah, just quickly before we get stuck into our sheep here, might be new overall. We've got 20,000 sheep. Parent dogs, 5,000, land meat breed, and about 15,000 merino. They're our wool breed. We employ shearing contractors to get through all our sheep for us. They'll come through, well, they'll start about August and shear in different blocks all the way through to about May the following year. Now they've got to be quick, especially with these crossbreeds here. You know, your contract shearers, they'll be expected to shear a minimum of 200 in one day. Now I'm an amateur shearer. I do 2 sheep a day. They've got to be quick because they're only getting paid about $1.50 per sheep. So I make about $3. The shoes I'm putting on these are called moccasins. Gives the shearer a good firm grip, stops them from sliding around. Also keeps their feet nice and flat. We're going to be using an electric hand piece on one of these girls. And it's got a flat wide comb attached to it, which is basically going to give her a number 1 haircut. Alright. Straight to the skin. And the colder months of the shearing season, we'll switch over to the cover comb, which will allow the shearer to leave behind about 3.5 weeks worth of wool growth, which will be enough to keep her protected. These girls here, don't freak out, they'll all be kept inside tonight. They're not going to be shut out, I'll tell you. Very lucky. You're in tourism. Lucky last. I bet you she's a fighter. She's a fighter.
Oh, look at that.
Now, sheep are a bit of a weird animal. Sit them up on their bum like this. 9 out of 10, they're just going to get up there. They just go all. It's an unnatural position for the sheep. They get quite confused, and this is how they react. They just calm themselves down. What we want to do first, we want to take off that belly wool. We'll clean up the sides there, tidy the crutch up, and then we'll get into the bit of wool. Now we'll slow things down. Now we'll try my best to alter my technique so you guys get to see as much of her wool coming off her as possible. We want to start off nice and high, work our way down the belly. Yeah, whatever hand you're not shearing with is to be used to pull the skin nice and tight so we avoid nicking any wrinkles. That's her belly. Ta-da, there you go, all mud, full of seed, chuck it over there. Roll her over. We're not really leaving an awful lot behind. Nice fat puku. She's a good mess this one. The other way, sweetie. So we're going to head into the first leg, what we call the undermine. World record! Most sheep short in 9 hours, 731. Crossbreed, 731. That was done by a Kiwi fella called Matt Smith over in England a few months ago. Worked out, what, his one sheet drawn every 44 seconds. Sit around. Now you head to the next blows there. Open her up. Some of them. Once you got a good pathway here set up, you can then hook around to that third shoulder. Now, Pierendale wool, in comparison to, say, our merino, a lot more coarser. Where it most likely end up, carpet, textiles, things like that. Whereas the merino being a lot more finer, pretty much always going to be made of your clothing. Normally, my sheet's back, we're facing close to that catching pen there, so we're going to be heading to the long blows now. So it'd be a bit better off you guys, see those blows or if they're laying this way. But we're going to put a wall there, people come things, she's going to do the psycho, right? That's all right. Want to make sure she wants to come back next year. We normally share them once a year. Probably about 5 or 6 shearing down in their lifetime, depending if they go to land every year. Move that high. There we go. Beautiful. So basically now, all we're doing is working from the front to the back. Working here between your legs like this, you're going to have better access to that brisket, as well as that next front leg. That's right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Woo! I like it, gentlemen. Yeah, the quicker you shear a sheep, honestly, it's much easier. You know? The longer you take, the more frustrated they get. They will cut you out a lot more. So what helps the sharp gear, blunt or dowel gear, very uncomfortable for the feet. Instead of cutting through it nice and smoothly, instead of tugging the wall. Sweet is. She's still got both her ears attached, so that's always a good sign of my sharing. We'll chuck her back in there with your mates. We'll see her next year, August, for the freelance sharing. This time next year, she'll be running around with her first set of lambs. Here we go, she's kicking around a bit. We'll try and give her a little throw. A wee toss. Oh, you're not best throw, but you get the idea. About 3 kilos has come off her tonight. You're more than welcome. Come up, grab a piece, souvenir, boom, take that over to the seat. Don't get customs sniff this one out, alright? Yeah, my gift, okay? Speaking of gifts, fantastic gift shop open up there now. Spend a bit of holiday money, alright? If you're poor like me, doing sauce waiting for you out there, get yourself a good spot. Hope you guys had a great time. God bless.
So that brings me to events in the past week. As I said, I had my spring Idiot Quilter retreat on Saturday. Great success, I thought. Many of you that attended it have sent me emails about how much you enjoyed it, and you're looking forward to the next one. And as I've already said earlier, the next one will be in the early fall, probably sometime about mid-October. I haven't nailed down my date yet for that. In the meantime, I'm looking for more presenters. The 3 presenters I had for this one were all absolutely excellent. And I have posted 2 out of the 3 presentations. One of the presenters didn't want to be recorded, and that is fine. I have no problem with that. But the other 2 said it was fine and knew I was going to post it. So those will go live tomorrow. So if you missed that, if you missed the retreat, you can catch these presentations, and they were excellent. And I'll probably say more about the presentations tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter, because I think it's a more appropriate topic for that video. But anyways, I enjoyed myself. It was a busy, busy day for me. I don't get any sewing done or anything like that. I'm too busy manhandling about 3 computers and, helping people out with any technical problems and giving my prizes and doing all kinds of things like that. And that is okay. I don't mind that at all. So yeah, it was great. And that's pretty much all last week was, because yeah, I was putting finishing touches on the retreat. So what's coming up? Well, you know that we're going to the East Coast in another less than a month away, and I will be trying to do what I did when I was on the West Coast. I'll be trying to post videos on probably a daily basis, depending on my internet connection and the technology, to post here on my channel, so you can sort of be on the trip with us. And of course, this is a busy year for travel because we just came from out west. We're going east, and at Christmas time, we're going down to Georgia for the Stephanie Stitches retreat. But just when you thought there was no more to do, I discovered that Stratford, Ontario, which is the home of the world famous Stratford Festival every year, one of their productions is Rent. I absolutely love Rent. I have watched the movie several times. In fact, I think I bought the DVD of the movie as well. And I really love that. And so we bought tickets, really good tickets, to see Rent in Stratford in September. So we've got that all planned. Walter's already got our hotels booked for that. And I don't know if I'll do any shopping when I'm down there. There's a lot of quilt stores in that area as well. Don't know if I'll do that this time, because we're only going to stay 2 nights. So I probably won't get that much shopping done, maybe a little. There is a quilt store in Stratford that is excellent. Yay Old Quilt Shop. And I've been there a couple of times before. So yeah, I will definitely plan to try to get to it too, since I'm going to be in Stratford. But I'm really looking forward to seeing this production of Rent, and it's at the festival stage. The festival stage was designed around the concept of the original Globe Theatre in Shakespeare's day. So basically your audience is sitting 3 sides around, and it's an apron stage that projects out into the audience, kind of thing. And this being a musical in the whole bit, and where we have seats, got really good seats. Yeah, it cost us. It cost us almost $500 for 2 seats, but I think it's going to be worth it. So I'm excited about doing that in September. So that means we need to plan something between when we come back from the East Coast and into September. Well, we shall see. We shall see. This is the year that I'm getting out of the bloody cave. I'm ripping off the bandage. I'm getting back into circulation. I'm going out there. I'm not going to be afraid of people, which is what the pandemic did to us, right? No, we're getting out there. Okay, what else? Well, I've already mentioned that on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. we have Sew with Stephanie and Stephen. And, oh yeah, plans for the Halifax meet and greet. For those of you that might be going, I've already put out a field there asking people to let me know if they are planning to go to the Canadian Quilt Show in Halifax. And if so, and they're interested in a meet and greet, to let me know. And I've had a few people do that. I think right now my count is at about, counting Walter and myself, to about 15. And that's a nice group of people. We are looking at venues for this, and I think we have found one that we think will work really well. We haven't finalized all of that, but if you have already sent me your name telling me you're interested in the meet and greet at that time, then I have your email address and I will send you details when they are done. So yeah, looking forward to seeing, some of the people that watch my channel. That'll be really neat to meet up. Okay, nothing else. So I'll have my Idiot Quilter up tomorrow. Those two presentations I mentioned earlier will be up as well. And then tail end of the week will be So Chatty with Walter and myself. And then Stephen and Walter live on Sunday. So yeah, lots of things for your entertainment enjoyment, I hope. So I hope you have a great week. I hope the weather's nice where you are. And yeah, we'll see you later. Bye for now.